Hello Tubes, it's Gav. Welcome to another one of my videos. Just the three figures to show you today. They're 28mm metal Empress miniatures, North Vietnamese Army from the Vietnam War. Beautiful figures, and they're sculpted by Paul Hicks and obviously sold through Empress Miniatures. Got no connection to Empress whatsoever. I bought these with my own. Oh no, I didn't. I keep saying that. I didn't. Thank you very much, Steve Sandford, who actually gifted me these from his own collection that I could paint up for my collection. So thanks, Steve. Sorry, I've said that twice now, haven't I? I bought them myself. But all I'm trying to say is I've got no connection to Empress. I just enjoy their figures. I've got the greens on these to exactly how I wanted them, and again I'll try and change up the webbing colours very slightly. This is supposed to be elephant grass, or alluding to it. Obviously it will be in a lot bigger clumps than this, but I'm just trying to show it's there. It's actually from a like floral suppliers. We happen to have one. I bought it years ago, literally about 5, 6, 7 years ago, and never used it. It was going to be, and I've still got a load. It's going to be for 1 in 35 scale, like Vietnam type figures. But hacking it down, it's just like it's slightly rigid in places just because it's been super glued in and then sanded and PVA'd in. But it's it's soft stuff. It's just to go into I suppose dried flower arranging. The brighter green one, that's actually pop can, and what I normally do is I save 2 or 3 pop cans. Well, I don't drink it, but the wife does, and cut like the, rather than keeping I've cut the top and bottom out off, obviously, and then cut it into sections just so it's easily storable, and you can do a lot with it. You can make some easy shapes. I use a pair of old nail scissors, and they cut it up quite well. It's on a piece of wire. Obviously I've stuck a piece of wire, super glued it all together, shove it in a piece of blue foam just to hold it while I'm doing all that type of work. Prime it, paint it, and then I drill through all the sand and everything just with my hand pin vise, pop it in, super glue it in, and it's fine. It was an experiment, these. So there's one here, and I'll get to this little tiny one down here in a minute. It was an experiment. I wanted some lighter colour in amongst all this more. Of course, he's got more grey-green and all the other colours around. Now I know that I can roughly make these, because the shapes are, when I was up looking at different Vietnam foliage from the war, colour photos, there was loads of shapes, obviously. So really, do what you want. And I did a roughly lily pad type shapes and then stuck them on. I'd done a load of gluing of separate bits of wire on just to make some branches. But what I would do next time is put 2 or 3 of those in amongst them, rather than you just got the one bright colour. Yeah, tufts were made by me as usual. This is it's like a leaf. I don't know if it's from Woodland Scenics or not, but it's like a leaf you can make your own bushes up and stick them all on. Well, I find it's very good for ground cover. Like it's almost like ivy on the ground and stuff like that. So that's our one guy. And I think this is one with one of those, like I call them. Obviously, they're not Khmer scarves. I take it because they're North Vietnamese, but they've got the blue and white scarves on there. I think the Khmer, is it in Cambodia, and that did they have the red and white, or I'm not sure if it was a particular colour for that region, or if they wore blue, white, and red and white scarves. But the ones I was seeing had blue and white, so that's what I did with those. We've got our kneeling figure here. Again, I think I said to you guys before, I've left the colours fairly light on that. Just like in all types of skin tones, the Vietnamese aren't any different. They've got darker skin tones and lighter skin tones. I just happened to see a colour photograph of some on the fall of Saigon, and they were riding on a T-55 tank, I believe, or a T-54, and these guys were mostly light coloured skin, so that's why I decided to go with these. But if I do some, well, I will be doing some more, I'll probably put some darker skin tones in as well. Again, mixed of my own tufts. These are the only tufts. I've just had these for years and years, probably about 10, 12 years. Got some like little leaves on them and stuff. It's supposed to be like dead leaves, but I use them as bushes really, with a bit of leaf growth on. Again, I didn't want to go overkill with all the elephant grass. I know in real life it would be, obviously you'd put it all over the base really, I suppose, but I didn't want to do that. I'd say you want to see if you've put this much effort into painting your figures, you do want to see them as well. So that's that one. As I said, compared to my Marines in Hui, although I would have these fighting in Hui, I said I'd have these in more in the bush, if that makes sense. And the battle for Hui City as well also took part in the hills around Hui itself. Now this little green one here is the same method as before, but all it is the offcuts of where I was cutting all the little divots out of these leaves. I saved them all and then just super glued them again to a little stalk. And again, close examination, it just looks like a green plant. Again, I would put more of those around. It was just an experiment really to see what it looked like. I've made some old rotten wood just out of putty, tree stump and a bit of rotting on the side of it there. Again, mixed a few of my tufts in. But it shows. I mean, I prefer these 30mm bases just because, as I've said to you guys before, I know people tend to go for the slightly smaller ones, but I like to make them like mini dioramas in a way, or vignettes, or whatever you want to call them. It just gives more context to the figure. So yeah, I put some roots connecting that in and stuff. It's supposed to be like decayed wood. I'd have probably made it a bit more yellowy or orangey, but again, you learn. But yeah, all that is just epoxy putty, and just using I use a pin in an old one of those dressmaking pins, with a plastic bobble on the top. Cut that off, and I put it in a piece of dowel, and I use it for helping to shape putty. But yeah, that's just, I was quite pleased with how that turned out. You could go into more colours on that and the larger green version. I just wanted to give it a bit more brighter, because when I was looking at some of the photographs, the colours did stand out more on some than others, as in the different vegetation. And again, that's there. It ties, all the bases tie in roughly per grouping. I mean, they'll change from but if I'm doing say 3, I tend to do them roughly the same type of style. I did think of putting like some tree stumps higher up on these. I might do it in the future, but I was happy with this. So there you go. There's some photographs at the end. But I'm quite pleased how they've turned out. I'm looking through the camera viewfinder, and I think the uniforms have come up well. I haven't overly dirtied these up. I just dirtied them up at the base of the trousers. I have got the Australians I can show you, which have been more grubbed up, but I haven't got those on bases yet, so they're just waiting for their first varnish. These have got one more varnish coat. What I normally do is put a varnish over the figure first, because then I've got to handle them although to be honest with you, I usually put a pair of rubber gloves on or whatever, but put them, normally I would as well with these ones, is do them on the base. So I stick the figure down to the base before it's primed the whole lot. Well, I should say, before I do that, I put some putty around the base just to blend it in, and then prime it all. All these ones though, I've had to stick on separately, and that's always a bit of a bind, because you've got to get between the legs and that, with the sand and the glue without mucking all the figures up. But that would be my suggestion to you, is stick once you've scraped off the mould lines, give them a wash in some soapy water, and try them out. I only stick them down with PVA, 10-minute PVA glue. Then once that's gone off, I usually put sand over the top, put some more PVA down on the entire base and sand it, or put my little logs on. The only thing is, if you're going to start putting things like your own homemade stuff around already, you might find it awkward getting into the figure to paint. So as long as you've got your putty on first, probably leave the sand off. Just put putty around it if you're going to do that method, and yeah, it's you primer it and then you can paint it in situ then. So yeah, that's 3 more figures. Again, big thumbs up to Steve for gifting me these figures, and he gifted me the Australians. They all came in a package he sent over a while ago, and in fact I've got 3 Marines I'm about to start at some point over the week. So yeah, some more Vietnam stuff to come. I've got some more Landsknechts, 6 done now, so that's another base done. I'll show you. I'm thinking about Thursday. I've got a quieter house, and I might see if I can do a tutorial on painting the Landsknechts. I'm not sure yet. I've also got another Hussar almost painted, so that'll be another 2 to show you in a bit. And I believe that's it. As I say, at the moment I've got a young pup, and he's taken a lot of obviously looking out for, because he's into everything. And while my wife's working, she works from home now, she can't obviously keep an eye on him when she's on the phone and doing all these Zoom meetings or whatever they do. So it's awkward for me to spray at the moment. I'll literally only have a windows of opportunity really on the weekend, and even those are quite sparse. So yeah, I mean, I'm getting the ferret. The ferret is almost done. Tom's car has got no farther forward, and it can't do really until Nugget's a bit slightly older. Well, not too old. I'm around to it in a month or so. But the little 15mm tanks will be showing up as well sometime between now and following Monday, because now the commission's out the way, I'm getting stuck in on the bases and stuff, and for all that type of work. The 54mm Airfix Lancer, he'll be up for a show and tell hopefully in the next few days. He's on his plinth and stuff, so yeah, that's another one to I just need to do a couple of touch-ups of paint and stuff, and he'll be ready for a viewing. So thank you very much for stopping by. Thank you very much for helping me out with the suggestions and the advice and just the good words. It's really appreciated. So look after yourselves, and we'll catch each other soon on another video.